Hey, it's Rob Weinberg, and on this channel we empower people to take control of their futures through expert mortgage, financial, and real estate strategies. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button and smash the bell so you get notified on all the new content we're putting out for you guys every single week. In today's whiteboard lesson, we're going to be talking about the housing trends forecast and also what's next for homeowners and home buyers here in the coming years. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to housing trends is what are the key trends right now. So what we're seeing as trends currently and over the coming years is going to be, number one, a continued increase in home prices. But the home price increase will not be at the same pace that we've seen for the last 2 years. It will be a much slower increase, all right? So a slower pace. The next thing is going to be changing and volatile interest rates. That's something we've seen and will continue to see. Next is going to be increasing demand for sustainability and eco-friendly properties. And lastly, a greater focus on outdoor spaces as well as home offices, given the remote work scenario. So these are the key trends that we're seeing in the market right now. Now, what demographic shifts are occurring that are making some shifts and changes to the market as well? What we're talking about here is aging populations and changes in family structures. Those are the main items when it comes to demographic shifts. So an aging population means that there's going to be these multi-generational households, right? So when somebody is going to be older, they have a idea of whether they're going to move in with family, they're going to go and get their own place, or they're going to go out to like an assisted living or old age type of home. And more people are choosing to live with family and create that multi-generational household. So what I'm referring to is you have your main family with, husband and wife and a couple kids, but then you also have another generation living with them, which could be grandmother, grandfather, maybe one or the other, or both of them together if they're still living. So this is creating a need in the housing market for larger properties or properties that have like an in-law apartment or a second master suite, so we can have that multi-generational family. And that's definitely going to drive home builders and developers and what they're going to be looking to develop over the coming years for sure. Now, affordability is a main issue right now because with the home prices going up, so few people can afford it now. And every time the prices go up more or the rates go up more, there's more and more people that actually get squeezed out of the housing market. So as far as affordability, what we're really discussing here is a low inventory with a high demand. So low supply, high demand. That's going to continue this slow and steady pace of increases when it comes to home prices. So the best time to buy a home would have been last year, but the next best time is now because it's looking like, from a demographic standpoint, no matter what happens with rates and supply, there's just so much demand and continued demand that's going to continue pushing these home prices higher. So those who are looking for a housing crash or anything that resembles even a 20 or 30% decrease in home values, it doesn't look like it's going to occur. There's just not those fundamentals that were there in the last housing crash to create that again. So the affordability is big because the more people that are in the market, the higher the prices that are going to go. And the higher the prices go, the more people get squeezed and are not able to afford it any longer. So what we really need to fix this affordability issue is we need home builders and we need developers to really start getting incentivized by government to create more affordable housing. You're just not seeing these builders that are building the entry-level homes, the $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 homes. Most new builds right now, at least in New England where I'm at, are upwards of $450,000 to $500,000 or more, and in some areas $750,000 to $800,000 or more. Again, for more of an entry or a level type of property, they're just not building those, 3-bedroom, 2-bath that start at $250,000, $300,000, which, from my experience, that is the real first-time home buyer demographic right now. Those are the people that are between a rock and a hard place. They've got down payment money, maybe their credit's okay to buy, but they can't find something that they can actually afford on a monthly basis. You can't spend $3,000 or $4,000 a month on a mortgage payment when you're only making $60,000 or $70,000 a year. It's a recipe for financial disaster, and they just simply won't qualify. So that's my rant on affordability. Now, moving along to emerging housing markets. So the big idea here is that there's certain markets, certain areas that you can look at that are more emerging, that can really help take people that are needing that more affordability, that more affordable property, and give them some sort of availability of that, because in a lot of the big cities it's not there. So where you should be looking for that is going to be suburban and rural areas. The suburban and rural areas are the ones that, although they have seen increases in price, they're not as drastic as what we've seen in some of the more larger cities and those type of markets. So definitely look, if you're remote especially, look to move away from the big cities. The further away you get, the more emerging markets you're going to find, and the more affordable properties that you're going to find as well. You want to be seeking out cities with a growing job market, and also cities that offer that lower cost of living. So as I said, the closer you are to a big city or a big metropolitan area, the more difficult you're going to find it for this affordability, this affordable housing, the lower price ranges, that sort of thing. So be looking for the lower cost of living and really incentivizing yourself to be seeking out properties in those areas. And the last thing is going to be smaller towns and communities with focus on quality of life. So you'll find when you go out from the cities, maybe 30, 45 minutes, an hour plus from a big city, you'll start seeing more of a focus on the environmental, more of a focus on sustainability, quality of life, that sort of thing, versus just go, do your job and pay your bills, which is more of the mentality in the big city. So I think especially if you've got this last topic, remote work, you have more incentive personally to be able to go outside of these main areas, these super high demand areas, and expand yourself a little bit and go into the areas that maybe are a little bit further of a commute, but allow you to get that lower cost of living more affordable for the long term. So the last topic I want to talk about in our whiteboard lesson today is remote work and digital. So really what we're talking about is digital connectivity and how that impacts housing. So right now there's just a large group of people that were not working remote before the pandemic, and now they're either somewhat remote, like 2-3 days a week working remote and going in the office 1 or 2 days, or they're fully remote where they are able and allowed to work 100% from where they want. Now for these people, affordability can be a lot easier to attain than if you have to go in constantly and really be looking at your commute. Because again, the closer you are to the big cities, the bigger of a cost of living you're going to have, and the higher cost of a property that you're going to have to likely entail. So properties that have the ability for remote work, like home offices, that sort of thing, that's going to be a big thing that's in demand. That's going to create a lot of people that want that. High-speed internet is huge, so I know that some of the newer properties, they're actually building in like fiber optic and some high-speed internet capability into the actual home infrastructure. So that's a big thing for those that are working from home full-time. People aren't as concerned with being close to these urban centers. The proximity principle of being close to your job, it's not as relevant if you only need to go in 1 day a week, 2 days a week, or maybe you don't have to go in at all. I've been working remote for decades, so I can tell you I've worked for companies that have had locations in Florida. They've had locations in Texas and California, but I've been where I've needed to be, and it hasn't mattered. So I've been really able to do what's best for me and my family, and you can do that too using these principles if you're someone that works remotely. The last thing is greater interest in properties that have outdoor spaces and natural amenities. So if you've got a property that has an outdoor space, maybe play into that a little more if you're planning on selling your home, because people really want that outdoor space now more than ever. Coming off the pandemic, people don't like being inside. They like to have their freedom, both metaphorically and physically. So make sure that you are showcasing that in your property. If you have the ability to do that, or if you're looking at homes and you're someone that works remotely, be looking for that ability to maybe be outside a little more, place for the dog, the kids to play, that sort of thing. So there's definitely more of a focus on that now due to the remote work and the digital connectivity than there was before all of this went into play. So I hope that you found value in our lesson today. I hope that this has given you knowledge on the housing trends forecast for 2023 and beyond. And it's something that I'm passionate about, and I love helping people with every day find their dream home and finance the American dream. So if I can be of assistance to you or someone that you know, I'm licensed in Connecticut, Massachusetts, as well as the state of Florida, and you can reach out to me for a personal one-on-one consultation. My direct line is 860-413-3938. As always, I hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.